Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a truth that may sting a little. No one is coming to save you. Your dreams, your goals, your success, it's all on you. That might sound harsh, but let me tell you, it's the most liberating idea you'll ever embrace. Excel. You see, we live in a world where everyone is busy building their own lives. And that's not a bad thing, it's just reality. But here's the good news. You don't need anyone to hand you anything, because you already have everything you need to succeed. The seeds of greatness are planted within you, but you have to water them. You have to show up every day, even when it's tough, even when no one is clapping for you. Life rewards the self-starter, the doer, the person who gets up and says, I'll find a way. Here's what I've learned. Self-reliance is the key. The more you depend on others, the more you'll find yourself stuck. But when you decide, I'm the captain of my ship, you unlock a power that no one can take from you. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait for help. Roll up your sleeves and get to work. Because the truth is, the world owes you nothing. But you owe it to yourself to rise, to grow, and to make your mark. You are capable of far more than you think. The question is, will you step up and claim it? Self-reliance is the cornerstone of all lasting success. When you choose to rely on yourself, you step into a place of power. The world is filled with people looking for shortcuts, for someone else to pull them up, to hand them the answers. But those who achieve greatness do so by looking inward first, by trusting that they have the ability to figure it out, no matter the obstacles. End quote. You see, success isn't about waiting for a lucky break or hoping someone will step in and make things easier. It's about taking full responsibility for your actions, your choices, and your outcomes. This mindset of self-reliance gives you the strength to face challenges head-on and the determination to push forward, even when the odds seem stacked against you. When you rely on yourself, you don't have to wait for permission or approval. You become the architect of your own destiny. The key is to stop waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions. You will always face difficulties. There will always be roadblocks and distractions. But relying on yourself means knowing that you can adapt, find solutions, and keep going no matter what. The most successful individuals don't look for others to build their dreams. They take ownership, they plan their path, and they work relentlessly to bring their vision to life. Self-reliance isn't about isolation. It's about recognizing that your success comes from the choices you make and the actions you take. The world can be a tough place, but when you trust yourself, you gain the resilience to navigate it. Remember, the power to change your life, to grow, and to achieve the success you desire is already within you. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll begin to tap into your true potential. No one else is coming to make it happen for you. You've got what it takes to do it yourself. And that's where real freedom and success begin. Deciding what you want is the first step in taking control of your life. It sounds simple, but the truth is, many people wander through life without ever making a firm decision on what they truly want. Instead, they let circumstances, other people's expectations, or fleeting desires dictate their path. But if you want to live a life of purpose, success, and fulfillment, you must decide exactly what it is that you want, honestly and with fulfillment. You must decide exactly what it is that you want. When you're clear on what you want, it gives you direction. Without that clarity, you're simply drifting, reacting to whatever comes your way rather than proactively shaping your future. Making a decision about what you want is the act of taking control. It's saying to the universe, to yourself, and to everyone around you, this is what I am working towards, and I'm committed to it. You must be specific about your desires. Vague wishes lead to vague results. If you want more money, how much? If you want success, in what? If you want happiness, what does that look like to you? The more specific you are, the more focused your efforts will be. Ambiguity weakens your chances of achieving anything because it doesn't give you a clear target to aim at. But when you decide what you want with clarity and confidence, your actions align with your goals, and you move with purpose. Making this decision isn't always easy. Sometimes it requires you to confront your fears, to acknowledge the things you've been avoiding, or to face the reality of where you are right now. But that's part of the process. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect circumstances. The act of deciding is what creates momentum. Once you make that decision, you're no longer a passive participant in life. You become an active creator of your own future. And remember, you can always change your mind. Deciding what you want today doesn't mean it's set in stone for the rest of your life. But you'll never move forward if you don't make that decision. Clarity creates focus, and focus leads to action. So, decide what you want today, make it clear, and then move with purpose toward it. Your future starts with this one simple but powerful step. Building your own momentum is one of the most powerful things you can do for your success. Momentum is like a force that propels you forward, but it doesn't happen by accident. It's something you must create, and it begins with taking consistent action, even when the results aren't immediately visible. The key is to get started. The first step, no matter how small, is what ignites the engine. The challenge is not to wait for perfect conditions, because they'll never come, but to take action with what you have where you are. When you build your own momentum, you create a rhythm, a flow that drives you toward your goals. At first, it may feel slow or even like you're making little progress. But as you continue, the small efforts begin to add up, and before you know it, you're moving at a pace that feels unstoppable. You start to build confidence because momentum shows you that you can achieve results through consistent effort. The more you do, the more you want to do, and the results begin to snowball. But it's important to remember that momentum doesn't just come from big, dramatic efforts. It comes from small, steady actions over time. It's the decision to work today, even when you don't feel like it. It's the persistence to keep going when others may quit. It's doing what you said you would do day in and day out. Eventually, these actions stack on top of one another, and you'll find that momentum carries you forward with far less effort than you initially thought was needed. The real beauty of momentum is that it builds on itself. The more you accomplish, the more you'll be driven to accomplish. Momentum creates its own energy, and before you know it, the things that once felt hard start to feel easier. You stop questioning whether you can do it because the momentum has proven to you that you can. The initial push may take effort, but once it starts, you'll be amazed at how much you can get done when you're in motion. Don't wait for someone else to motivate you. Don't wait for the perfect time to begin. Take action now, however small, and begin the process of building momentum. Even a small step forward is progress. Keep moving, keep pushing, and watch how momentum will carry you to places you never imagined. Being your own biggest cheerleader is one of the most important shifts you can make on the road to success. Too often we look for external validation to feel good about ourselves, waiting for someone to tell us that we're doing well, that we're on the right track, or that we're worthy of success. But the truth is, the most successful people don't rely on others to build their confidence. They've learned to look in the mirror and say, I believe in you. When you are your own biggest cheerleader, you become your own source of motivation, encouragement, and support. You stop waiting for someone else to acknowledge your efforts, and instead, you start acknowledging them for yourself. This doesn't mean you ignore constructive feedback or stop growing, but it means you don't wait for someone else's applause to feel proud of your progress. You can recognize your small victories, your improvements, and the steps you've taken without needing others to tell you how great you are. Wow. Believing in yourself is what fuels your confidence and your perseverance. When you're your own cheerleader, you keep going when things get tough because you know you have what it takes. You don't let temporary setbacks define you or make you doubt your ability to succeed. You remember that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, and you celebrate your resilience as much as your achievements. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't going the way you want them to, especially when the people around you may not understand or appreciate your journey. But that's when you need to be the loudest voice of support. You have to remind yourself that your worth is not determined by others' opinions or by how long it takes to reach your goals. It's determined by your willingness to keep going, to stay focused, and to trust that your efforts will pay off. Being your own cheerleader also means giving yourself credit for the things you've done well. So often we focus on what we haven't done yet, what's still left to achieve. But taking time to appreciate what you've already accomplished builds the momentum you need to continue pushing forward. When you celebrate even the small wins, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, that you are making progress, and that success is within your reach. You have everything you need to succeed, and you are capable of achieving great things. So, be kind to yourself, encourage yourself, and remind yourself that you are worthy of success, even on the days when it feels difficult. Your self-belief is the foundation for everything that comes next. Be your own biggest cheerleader, and watch how that belief will propel you to places you once thought were impossible. Learning to solve problems is an essential skill for anyone who wants to succeed. The truth is, life will never be free from challenges. There will always be obstacles, setbacks, and unexpected turns along the way. But how you handle those problems is what sets successful people apart from everyone else. The key is not to avoid problems, but to embrace them as opportunities for growth. The more problems you solve, the more capable you become, and the closer you get to your goals. Problems are inevitable, but the solution is always in your hands. The way you approach problems makes all the difference. The first step is to stop seeing problems as obstacles. Instead, see them as puzzles that require a solution. A shift in mindset is crucial. When you look at challenges with a problem-solving mentality, you stop feeling defeated by them, and instead you start thinking of ways to overcome them. Every problem presents an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to grow stronger. Successful people don't wait for someone else to solve their problems. They take ownership of their circumstances and look for ways to turn challenges into stepping stones. The more you practice solving problems, the better you get at it. It's like a muscle. When you exercise it, it grows stronger. And as you grow, you become more resourceful, more creative, and more confident in your ability to handle anything that comes your way. Success in general is translated into personal success. And when you grow, you become more resourceful, more creative, and more confident in your ability to handle anything that comes your way. When faced with a problem, the first thing you need to do is stay calm. Don't panic. Step back, evaluate the situation, and give yourself the space to think clearly. Ask yourself, what's the best course of action? What are my options? Often problems seem much bigger than they actually are when we're in the midst of them. But by breaking them down into smaller, more manageable pieces, you can identify solutions more effectively. Another key part of solving problems is persistence. Sometimes the first solution you try won't work, and that's okay. The ability to stay determined and keep trying different approaches is crucial. It's the people who give up at the first sign of difficulty who struggle the most. But those who keep going, who refuse to quit, eventually find a way. They're not discouraged by failure, they learn from it, adapt, and keep moving forward. Problem solving is also about being resourceful. It means looking for answers in places you haven't looked before, asking for help when needed, and tapping into your network of contacts and resources. You don't need to have all the answers on your own. Sometimes the best solution comes from thinking outside the box, from collaborating with others, or from drawing on the knowledge and experience of those who have faced similar challenges. The more problems you solve, the more confident you become in your ability to handle the next one. And over time, you'll realize that problems are not obstacles at all. They're the stepping stones to success. They're what sharpen you, strengthen your character, and build your resilience. So don't shy away from problems. Embrace them, learn from them, and use them as tools to move closer to the success you desire. Focusing on what you can control is a game changer for your personal growth and success. It's easy to get caught up in all the things that are outside your control. The economy, other people's actions, the weather, or events that happen in the world. But the truth is, spending your energy on things you can't control only drains you. It leaves you feeling powerless and frustrated. On the other hand, when you focus on what you can control, you tap into the power to change your circumstances and create the life you want. The only thing you have complete control over is yourself, your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. Everything else is out of your hands, so why waste time worrying about things you can't influence? Instead, turn your attention inward. Focus on how you respond to situations, how you handle adversity, and how you choose to act in any given moment. By mastering your reactions, you put yourself in the driver's seat of your own life. When you focus on what you can control, you start taking responsibility for your actions and your outcomes. You stop waiting for the world to change for you. You realize that the true power lies in the decisions you make and the effort you put in every day. No matter what happens outside of you, you can control how you respond. This means that when challenges arise, you have the choice to either give up or find a solution. If you're lucky to meet the right person, you have the choice to either give up or find a solution. It's up to you. One of the most empowering things you can do is focus on your daily habits. The small actions you take every day, even when no one is watching, shape your future. So ask yourself, are your habits moving you closer to your goals? Are you investing time in what truly matters? When you control your habits, you control the results. It's that simple. It's also important to focus on your mindset. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you perceive it. If you approach each day with a mindset of growth and possibility, you will find opportunities where others see obstacles. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions determine your success. By focusing on what you can control, your perspective, you set yourself up for a future that is full of possibilities rather than limitations. There's a great deal of freedom in focusing on what you can control. It shifts the focus away from what's wrong with the world or with other people and puts it on what you can change in your own life. It empowers you to take consistent, positive action, knowing that your future is not determined by external circumstances, but by the choices you make right now. This doesn't mean you ignore everything else. It doesn't mean you ignore the things that are outside of your control altogether. It simply means that you don't waste energy on them. You don't let them hold you back or derail your progress. Instead, you invest your time and effort into areas where you can make a real impact. Your work, your relationships, your health, your mindset. And when you do, you'll find that you're much more likely to create the results you want, regardless of what's going on around you. The aspirant waits for the objective markers of performance within the level of responsibility they deserve. The aspirant looks to their own. By focusing on what you can control, you take back your power. You stop being a passive observer and become an active participant in your life. So, don't waste another minute trying to control the uncontrollable. Take charge of what's in your hands and watch as your life begins to transform. Developing a growth mindset is one of the most transformative things you can do for yourself. It's about shifting the way you see challenges, failures, and success. Most people, when they face difficulties, tend to think they've hit a wall. They believe that if they struggle with something, it means they're not good enough or they're not cut out for it. But a growth mindset tells you something different. It tells you that challenges are opportunities to grow, that failure is a lesson, and that your abilities can always be developed with time and effort. A growth mindset isn't about being perfect from the start. It's about understanding that growth comes through persistence, learning, and adaptation. Every time you encounter a setback, it's not a sign to quit. It's a sign to get better. This mindset allows you to see each obstacle as a chance to improve, and each success as proof that your efforts are working. When you adopt a growth mindset, you stop fearing failure. You realize that failure isn't something to be ashamed of. It's a necessary part of success. You start to embrace it as a stepping stone toward mastery. After all, no one starts at the top. Everyone who has ever achieved anything significant had to learn, stumble, and grow along the way. The key is to keep going. No matter how many times you fall, you get up, learn from the experience, and keep moving forward with greater knowledge and skill. A growth mindset also changes the way you approach challenges. Instead of avoiding difficult tasks, you start seeking them out because you understand that tackling them head on is the fastest way to improve. You stop looking for shortcuts or easy ways around problems. You take pride in the effort, the learning process, and the gradual progress. When you believe that you can always learn and improve, you stop limiting yourself to what you already know, and you open up to endless possibilities for growth. Meditation leads me to find two takeaways from this story. First, remember your target. One of the most powerful aspects of a growth mindset is that it breeds resilience. Life is filled with ups and downs, and it's easy to get discouraged when things don't go your way. But when you have a growth mindset, you understand that setbacks are temporary. You know that success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about learning to persevere through it. Each time you bounce back from a challenge, you grow stronger, more confident, and more capable. As you develop a growth mindset, you begin to embrace the idea that your potential is limitless. The more you learn, the more you realize you're capable of achieving. Your mindset becomes focused on progress rather than perfection, and that shift allows you to reach new heights. You stop comparing yourself to others and start comparing yourself to who you were yesterday, measuring your growth and celebrating your development. In addition, you minimize or excuse yourself and celebrate your development. It's also important to recognize that developing a growth mindset doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and consistent practice. You'll need to retrain your brain to see challenges differently, to handle failure with grace, and to keep learning at every opportunity. But as you continue on this path, you'll notice that your confidence grows, your abilities expand, and your potential becomes clearer with each passing day. So stop limiting yourself. Stop believing that your abilities are fixed. Cultivate a mindset that embraces growth, challenges, and learning. When you do, you unlock a world of possibilities and put yourself on the path to achieving far more than you ever thought possible. Keep growing, keep learning, and watch how your success unfolds as a result. Valuing persistence over perfection is one of the most powerful mindsets you can adopt on your journey to success. Too often, people get caught up in trying to make everything perfect before they take action. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, or the perfect plan. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion, and the pursuit of it can be paralyzing. It's persistence, the willingness to keep moving forward, to keep working, and to keep learning that ultimately leads to success. Perfectionism can hold you back because it makes you focus on getting everything just right instead of taking action and making progress. The problem with this is that perfection is subjective, and it's a moving target. No matter how hard you try, you'll always find something to improve. But if you wait for everything to be perfect before you begin, you'll never get started. And if you stop every time something isn't perfect, you'll never finish anything. Perfection is not the key to success, persistence is. Persistence is about showing up day after day, regardless of how things are going. It's about continuing to work toward your goals, even when the path gets rough or the results are slower than you'd like. It's about not quitting when things don't go as planned, but instead, learning from the experience and adapting. The more persistent you are, the closer you get to your goals. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. When you value persistence over perfection, you understand that success is not about avoiding mistakes. It's about learning from them. Mistakes are inevitable, but they are not failures unless you stop trying. Each mistake teaches you something valuable, whether it's a lesson about yourself, about your work, or about the world around you. The key is to keep going, even when things aren't perfect. The more you persist, the more you learn, and the more you improve. Success is built on consistent effort over time, not on isolated moments of perfection. The more persistent you are, the more opportunities you create for success to happen. And when you persist, you build momentum. As you keep moving forward, your efforts compound, and what once seemed impossible starts to become possible. You begin to realize that success doesn't come from perfection, it comes from consistent action, from showing up and doing the work, no matter the challenges. By choosing persistence over perfection, you free yourself from the unrealistic expectations of always being flawless. You stop focusing on what isn't working and start focusing on what you can control, the next step, the next action, the next opportunity. You keep moving forward, knowing that the road may not always be smooth, but persistence will always carry you farther than perfection ever could. So don't get bogged down by the need to make everything perfect. Embrace the process. Celebrate progress over perfection. The more persistent you are, the more you'll learn, and the closer you'll get to achieving your goals. Keep moving, keep pushing, and remember that perfection is not the goal. Persistence is what will lead you to success.